Minister McGrath, the number of people who can't afford to sufficiently heat their homes has more than doubled in the last year, according to the CSO. So as the new Finance Minister, what, if anything, are you going to do differently from your predecessor to fix this problem and its trajectory?
Thanks, Ben. Well, look, I think we have, as a government, made major interventions to try to help people with what we recognise is, for many, quite a severe cost of living crisis. As I said in my opening remarks, to be dealing with a level of inflation that is almost at a half-century high places real pressure on people and also on businesses. And that is why we have responded in an exceptional way, not just in the budget last September, but right through last year. You know, it is very unusual for an Irish government to make interventions on a number of occasions through the budgetary year. But we did so because it was needed, and we are now focused very much on implementing the measures that we announced in the budget, and I've outlined a number of those that have only just commenced. And of course that does come in the back of about €1 billion of exceptional social welfare supports that were paid between early October and mid-December. And I know from engaging with many of my constituents that those payments made a real difference and were really welcome and badly needed in so many instances. But the focus for now is on implementing Budget 2023, and we have a lot of work to do in that regard. And
would the government consider suspending carbon tax hikes in the coming year to try and ease people's energy costs and petrol costs and things like that?
No, I think it's important to remember what we're doing with those carbon tax receipts. We are using some of those receipts to fund the anti-poverty measures in social protection. So we are actually funding the expansion of eligibility for the fuel allowance, for example, and some of the additional payments that we have made, and also by investing in retrofitting, which for many of the poorest households, you know, is the best long-term investment that we can make, is to try and help make their homes warmer and more comfortable, and that's what we're doing, while also investing in agri-environmental schemes in rural communities all over Ireland. So we will continue to collect those receipts, but equally we will be transparent as to how all of those receipts are being spent. They are being ring-fenced. They're not used as revenue earners for the state. We will be clear, as we publish every year on budget day, exactly where the carbon tax receipts
But are those
spent.
policies working if the CSO is telling us that people are unable to heat their homes because of, you know, the cost of heating and so on, that, you know, you could say retrofitting will warm houses and so on for the poorest among us, but it doesn't seem to actually be working in reality?
Look, we acknowledge that this level of inflation, and especially energy inflation, is really tough on people. Inflation hurts, and that's why we have, as a government, I think, demonstrated good faith that we are prepared to walk the journey with people, to make exceptional interventions. We've done that on a number of occasions so far.
Does hiking taxes help during a crisis like this?
Well, it depends what you do with those receipts. You know, and I would just point to a budget that comprised €11 billion of new measures, in addition to all of the core recurring supports that are there. And it was, and I'm sure you know this, deemed to be a progressive budget in terms of the distributional impact of the budget, and that was because of the way Minister Donoghue and I and our colleagues constructed the budget, that those who needed the most help did get the most help in Budget 2023, and that was the right thing to do, and that will continue to be the principle that guides our approach to addressing this cost of living crisis which so many continue to face.
Thank you, Minister.